And now it's time for another adventure of Mortimer Sparks. This week we find our hero in a dark, overgrown forest, where strange smoke signals have led him to the ruins of an ancient, puzzling society. What awaits our bumbling hero? Find out in Mortimer Sparks and the Key of Riddles!
Yes, this definitely seems to be where the latest smoke signal was coming from. I wonder what they could possibly mean. One thing's for certain. They've drawn me rather deep into this forest. Of course, that wouldn't be a problem if I hadn't forgotten to pack a map. Oh, and I can't see any more of those smoke signals either. Well, I'll progress on a little further and see what I can find.
Mortimer continued winding his way through the forest until he came upon a small clearing, in the center of which stood a mound of rubble.
By Jeeves, look at this. It looks like some traces of an ancient civilization. I must take a closer look. Yes, look at this. There's some form of symbols etched onto the stone. And there's some on this one too. And this one.
Little did Mortimer know that as he sifted through the rubble, he was creating a great deal of trouble for himself, as the ground he stood upon was not as sturdy as what it might have seemed.
I've worked it out. I think the stones are suggesting some form of gate or entry. I must be near the entry point of an ancient civilization.
And it was then, after moving the last stone, that Mortimer would discover the most important artifact of his expedition, for there beneath the stone lay...
Pigs in blankets! I don't believe it. It looks to be some sort of key.
But as he picked up the key, he felt a rumble beneath his feet, and the ground dramatically began to fall from beneath him.
No buts.
As the dust settled around him, Mortimer found himself at the bottom of a very deep cave.
Fiddlesticks. What a mess I've got myself into. I wonder if I can find a way out of here. The walls are incredibly smooth. Nothing to grip onto. It's almost as if this cave were carved out by hand.
He delved deeper into the cave until he came across a rock formation that blocked his path.
What rotten luck I'm having today. It appears to be a dead end. This rock, though, it's so perfectly formed. It appears carved and man-made. Why, it almost looks like it could be a door. Perhaps I should inspect this a little better.
Mortimer ran his hands over the wall.
My, it's dusty. Look, there's more of these ancient inscriptions carved into the wall. They were hidden by the dust. Let's see. It appears to say, which is the key that cannot unlock? And then there's two pictures below it. One appears to be an image of a key, and the other a picture of, well, it looks like a little horse. Then below that, there's two holes. Slippery slinkies. I think these holes would fit that ancient key I found before I fell down into the cave.
Mortimer reached for the key and began to slide it into one of the holes.
Wait, this seems like some kind of riddle. If I get the answer wrong and put the key in the wrong hole, there might be some kind of booby trap. I don't want to get in trouble, so let's think about this. Which is the key that cannot unlock? Then there's the picture of a key and another picture of a horse. But a horse isn't even a key, so it must be the picture of the key.
Mortimer leant forward and began to slide the key into the hole underneath the etching of the...
Wait! What if the picture isn't a horse? What if it's something like a horse? Like a pony? Or a zebra? Or a donkey? That's it! It's a donkey! You can't use a donkey to unlock anything.
Nervously, Mortimer slid the key into the hole under the donkey picture and began to turn it. As he did, the stone door began to move.
I worked it out. I got it.
Mortimer found himself inside a beautifully decorated chamber where crystals and jewels lined the walls, each one twinkling from the light that was streaming in from a round hole in the ceiling.
Jumping jellyfish.
He began to walk through the hall, admiring the decorative jewels, until his eye caught the shiniest of all. In the center of the room, on a large round plinth, stood a slender purple teardrop-shaped crystal. He approached, eager to hold the stunning jewel in his hands.
Oh my, I've never seen anything as beautiful as this. And look, there are more of those engravings around the plinth.
All was going well until Mortimer caught the scent of smoke. It began to fill the chamber. He looked up, and there, peering back at him through the hole in the ceiling, was a snarling, fiery red fox, who leapt down into the chamber, his nostrils smoking, and to Mortimer's horror,
Flaming foxes!
a burst of flames fired out of the fox's mouth and swirled around the chamber, narrowly missing our brave hero. The fox began to hiss.
Stay away from my jewels.
Well, this appears to be a rather hairy situation.
What did you just call me?
Oh dear.
In anger, the fox launched another ball of flames towards Mortimer, which Mortimer managed to dodge, but they burst onto the entry to the jeweled chamber, engulfing it in flames.
Oh, frog bottoms. It looks like I'm trapped. Perhaps the inscription around the jewel plinth has the answer.
Mortimer quickly read the inscriptions.
Oh no, it's another riddle.
Yes, this is the ancient jewel cave of Riddles. I discovered it many years ago whilst digging a hole to hide some of my food. I kept digging and digging until I discovered more and more jewels. Now they all belong to me.
Pickled pipers.
And I'm not gonna let you take any. And I'm not gonna let you escape.
The fox launched another blast of flames at Mortimer, who knocked the jewel off the plinth as he ducked out of its path.
I'm going to have to work out this riddle rather quickly if I want to avoid being barbecued. Let's see. It says, to escape the chamber, you must play the toll. Well, that makes no sense. You don't play a toll, you pay a toll.
You will pay a toll for trying to steal my jewels.
Suddenly, an idea rang out in Mortimer's head. He lunged for the fallen crystal.
The crystal looks as though it fits perfectly in the bottom of this key. Almost like a bell.
No!
For a bell tolls.
You worked out the riddle.
Mortimer took his newly formed bell artifact in his hand and began to ring it.
Aha!
The stone plinth in the center of the room began to rise, like an elevator towards the ceiling. Mortimer ran towards the plinth, narrowly dodging another foxy fireball.
Oh, why do us baddies have such bad aim?
Mortimer leapt onto the plinth and rose out of the cave. The plinth sealing the hole shut, trapping the fiery fox inside the chamber.
Well, that was a whole different adventure than I was expecting today.
Mortimer dusted himself off, placed his newly found artifact into his satchel, and surveyed the area.
Those smoke signals I saw earlier must have been the fiery fox wandering through the forest. And who would have thought that this strange-looking artifact was both a key and a bell?
With a new artifact for his collection, Mortimer headed back for base camp, or at least in the direction he thought was most likely to get him there.
Well, none of this looks too familiar.
A big thank you to all those brave adventurers who helped Mortimer Sparks this week, including Sienna, Laura, Hollie, Jarrod, Anna, and Wayne. Don't forget to check back next week on mortimersparks.com to see the latest artifact and put in your submission. Who knows, your most creative idea may feature on the next Mortimer Sparks Adventure Broadcast.